What up? What up? What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone's had themselves a great week. Looking forward to the weekend. It's your boy JP. Of course, I got my co-pilot right alongside me, Will Lyons. What's up, Will? How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm great, brother. Ready to discuss some of the history we've seen over the past week and some change.
Yes, sir. Indeed. And of course, our person's gonna be with us the whole summer. He is, as you see here, he's all for the summer. Coach JJ, what's going on, my good brother? How you feeling? I'll get the cool G rap playing. I hear you.
Ow! All good, brothers. All good. All good. All for the summer,
I hear
man.
you.
I'm just on a whole nother vibe, man. Right now, I'm chilling. Hey, look, I slept all day today, man. I had to work at the skating Monday, Tuesday. Then I skated in Trenton yesterday for leisure, and that wore me out. But I'm great.
Lucky. I used to know what that felt like. That used to be real great for me.
Amen.
That was a long time ago.
Amen.
Also, we have a special guest. Yes, sir. Indeed. We also have a special guest with us tonight. Will, bring up the introductions for us, brother.
All right, man. So we got one of the most knowledgeable hoops content creators around. You know, y'all might know him as a Michigan State
Yes, sir.
aficionado, Miami Heat fan, but I know him as one of my good brothers out here. Kev Lucas, what's going on, bro?
Man, I'm glad to be back on Generation of the Game. Glad that y'all got me back. It's an honor and privilege to be here, man, and ready to get into it, man.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Indeed. All right. Well, fellas, you know we got to start with the first topic of the day, the NBA 2024 draft. And where do you want to begin? Let me tell y'all something right now. The French Revolution is on its way in the NBA. So let's start with that. Yeah, well, we going in. Yeah, we got to, brother. We got to. Let's start with that. The Atlanta Hawks, the number one pick. Kev, since you're the guest, man, how do you feel about the number one pick, the wing forward that the Atlanta Hawks picked from France?
Yeah, Zachary Ricochet. I mean, it's weird because I'm not even trying to like hate on him. It's just y'all know how people talk about the draft this year, right? Everybody's talking about it's a sorry draft. I'm not really feeding into that narrative personally. I don't think it's sorry. I think the way people view drafts, like, let's be honest, judging drafts based off how many generational talents there are, no pun intended, is not a good way to judge a draft. Me personally, I judge drafts based off how many quality role players can produce through over their career, right? So I think because you look at stars are only 1% of the NBA. You make it to the NBA, you're 1% of the 1%. You're a star, you're 1% of the 1% of the 1%, right? So not everybody can be a star. So I'll start with that. But for Atlanta, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to pick a route to go. Are you sticking with Trae Young? Are you trading him? You got to figure out something because Trae Young, to me, is one of the best playmakers in the league. And so I think with Ricochet, he does fit in perfectly, in my opinion. He's a nice stretch man. You know, he's still got to fill out his frame a little bit, but I think over time, you know, Quinn Snyder's a hell of a coach. He's proven that in multiple stops in the NBA. So I think over time he can fit in well. It's really just what are the Atlanta Hawks to me? And that's always been like the biggest thing going into it. It's like you can get the number one pick, but how are you going to utilize and maximize the number one pick, right? That's always been my biggest concern. So I like it for him. I think this is a good piece. And at the end of the day, just like the Knicks, I'm sure we'll talk about, when you got a small point guard that you're building your team around, you just got to get big bodies around them to make up for his lack of size on the defensive end. And I think that's a great way to address it for the Hawks. And so I'm not too mad at it, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah.
You on mute, JP.
JP, huh?
Yeah, there we go. I'm there, JJ. I'm there. JJ, we're going to you next. We're going to you next, man. What do you think? doing the Hulk Hogan shit on me. Come on, man. What do you think about the number one pick that the Hawks got?
I'm gonna go back to Rutgers University, the summer of 1996. You guys ready? They probably français
Yeah.
on poor, oui. They probably français on poor, oui. Yeah, the French are coming, man. And I took some French in summer school, and between me and the accent mark, it felt like somebody slipped my wrist. There's a lot of red ink on the papers. So I took that D and I moved forward. Taking that point, I'm going history teacher mode real quick. This is a short-lived fad, guys. It's a short-lived fad. The French were here temporarily for the American Revolution. The French were around temporarily for World War I, and they got slaughtered. The French were around temporarily for World War II, they got slaughtered. Same to the NBA, it's just a fad. Now, let me bring it back to 2024. In basketball, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, French got some decent fours. They got some decent power forwards. They got some decent, forwards. In time, they got some point guards in time. So they can fill the point guard role, the small forward role, power forward role. Great, but it's a fad, guys. It's a fad because with the G League coming up, that's going to fill the gap with international players. Trust me on that.
I disagree with you 100% on this with France being a fad. They got some major talent. I'm talking about outside of Wemby and the rest of them. They got a point guard. I forget the brother's name. I saw him in the Nike Hoop Summit. He's a 6'5" point guard. Man, I forget his name, man. I think his name is McLean, something like that. But yeah, let me tell you something. He is going to be a star. I already saw the mock drafts for 2025. They got him as the number 3 pick of the draft. And I'm telling you, they got him over Dylan Harper. And I'm telling you, this kid is right up there with Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, and Ace Bailey. He's right there with them. They're going to be battling for that number 1 spot next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. But Will, go ahead. What do you think about the Hawks with who they picked the young wing player from France?
I'll be honest. I feel like because it didn't really matter to me who they picked, whether it was Zach or whether it was Sarr, because either one of them fits like pretty well with Trey, with the type of playmaker he is. But I do agree with like Kev. They need to pick a direction. Like you have a franchise cornerstone. Are you building around him, or are you trying to tank and like build for the future? And I feel like all the moves that they have made, except for keeping Trey, says that they're trying to, look long term. So, you got somebody that's going to be soon be making $50 million a year, on a losing team. You know what I mean? Like you got to make some tough decisions there. And we've seen even more of it, on draft day 2. They just traded AJ from Duke, AJ Griffin. So it's just a lot going on there. Personally, I would have gone with Sarr. If I'm gonna pick somebody, I'm gonna go with the versatile 7-footer personally. But yeah, I don't think Zach's a bad pick. I just feel like his game right now is like a true role player. He can turn into something much better in the future. But I think Sarr, like even if Sarr doesn't, if his offense doesn't really come along, he's an impact defender from day one.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something about Sarr. I felt as though Sarr should have been number 1 pick too. I think people really are sleeping on Sarr. He's the modern day big man. He could shoot from the outside. He could block shots. He could run the floor, rebound. I mean, I don't understand how he wasn't the number 1 pick of the draft. In my opinion, I think he has a chance to be a star in this league as well. At 7'1", 7'2".
I think
Go ahead.
the Hawks took it personal because he didn't work out for them.
Okay. So, but still, even because so basically, what he was trying to say is, I'm not going to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. That's basically what he's trying to say by not working out. But I think he's a good fit for the for the Wizards still, man. He's what they need: rim protector, run the floor, can shoot from the outside, 7'1", mobile. He's a modern day big man. Kev, what do you think about Sarr, the number 2 pick of the draft?
Yeah, I mean, everything you pretty much just stated, right? Can honestly, ultimately, he's probably going to end up being able to guard 1 through 5. I know we throw around that term a lot, but it's only really a handful of guys that could do that. Super mobile, super athletic, can lead the break, right? Good in. I think his jumper got to expand a little bit. I think to be a bit more of a threat, but outside of that, he does all the intangibles that as a coach you should want. And for Washington, I mean, kind of like the Hawks, we like, if we're being honest, the Wizards haven't been hurt since John Wall got hurt, right? They haven't been on nothing, right? They just been out there existing. So you got to start building. If you can't get a star, you got to start putting quality role players around somebody or around your team just to start establishing and developing a culture. And I think getting a guy like this to piece along guys like possibly Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole and a few other guys, he should be impactful. So I'm looking forward to see how he does, how he develops. And I think, honestly, a lot of people joke on Kyle Kuzma, but Kyle Kuzma's been a steady pro ever since he walked into the league, right? I know, you can say what you want about his fashion choice and things like that, but when it comes to basketball, I mean, he does his thing. So I think that's a great player to look up to and model his game after, even though they're not exactly the same. I think when you have a champion on your team like that can guide you, that knows the ropes, and, again, being drafted that high too is going to be a lot of expectations. So I think Sarr will be fine just because, look, when you play defense, that's half the battle right there. If you play defense, your coach going to trust and invest in you more than anything. So I think that's the key thing for him. And again, it's just going to be about how he develops offensively. But other than that, I think he'll be fine.
And another thing I forgot about too is out there with Bilal from France, who I think is going to be, who I think has a chance to be a really, 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 really big star player in this league, man. I mean, his leaping ability, the wing players. Washington's going. They're starting to show a little glimpse of some type of future, man. They're starting to show a little glimpse of what they're building there. JJ, what do you think about the center Sarr, 7'2" center Sarr from France going to the Wizards?
2025 NBA Rookie of the Year. He's either going to be a 4 or 5 because he's athletic, so he can play both. Washington Wizards, they're not going to become good again until they become the Washington Bullets. Ever since they became the Wizards, they're a joke. So when they change the name back to the Bullets, they're going to be a quality franchise. And think about it. This stadium is downtown in Chinatown. So they got the epic location to play ball. They just got a whack name like, who wants to be a Wizard? Zim Alabama. Man, they got to go back to the Bullets, man. But Sarr, long as he have the Greg Oden syndrome, or doesn't have the Sam Bowie syndrome, long as he stay healthy, bright future. And I'm going to go back to my original statement 5 minutes ago. France is just a fad. But Sarr's going to be 2025 NBA Rookie of the Year.
Bold statement.
Hey, JP.
Statement. That's yeah.
Hey, listen, he put it on the record. So when award season come around, with JJ got to come back when award season come back, because if he's right, we got to give him the floor just like we did with the Hurley announcement.
Just like the Dan Hurley thing, he called it with that too. Yeah, yes, sir, he did. JJ knows. Will, what do you think about Sarr with the Wizards?
Oh yeah, I think he's a good fit, man. I think Bilal's going to take a leap. I think Sarr and Bilal are going to give them an identity on defense. Kuz, like Kev said, is very steady offensively. A good, solid pro, hits the boards. Honestly, I don't believe necessarily in him as far as being your franchise player. But Jordan Poole, man, he's a solid pro. He just got to get his confidence back. He's a veteran. He played on a championship team too. So that's some invaluable experience that they have there. They just have to continue, to build, for the future. And this is the best back-to-back drafts that the Wizards have had probably in some years, probably since they took Brad and Wall and Brad, or something like that.
50 years. 50 years.
Wes Unseld is not walking through them doors.
Sunshine walking through them doors. Phil Schneer ain't walking through them doors.
I want
Hayes ain't walking through them doors.
I want Bobby
Man,
Sanders. I want Elgin Hayes. I want Mitch Kupchak. I want Kevin Greavy. I want them
damn.
all. I want
Hey,
the captain
JP,
Orlando
Man,
Mallon.
you went
I want
back.
it all,
You went
man.
back.
we gotta jump around because I've been dying to know what y'all Sixers fans thought about y'all draft.
I put a post up at 4
I
o'clock this
like the
morning.
first. You know what? Hold on. 1 second. Hold on. We got to go to Kev first. Kev is the LA person. He follows LA high school hoops. He's seen Jared McClain. Got to go to him first. Kev, what is our Philadelphia 70? What is me and JJ's Philadelphia 76ers getting in Jared McClain? Personally, I love drafting him at 16. What do you think they're getting, Kev?
I mean, y'all getting the character. Y'all can take that however y'all want to. But I think, honestly though, like on the court, Jared McCain is a sniper, right? And he's a bucket getter too at that, right? He's kind of like an undersized shooting guard, but when it just comes to pure shooting, I mean, his jumper's the same every single time. Good elevation, elbow always tucked in. He shoots it like if he missed the last 5, he's shooting that 6th one like it's cash money every single time, right? His confidence is unwavering, right? I thought he had a really good freshman season at Duke this year, so I like it. I mean, when you look at Maxey and Embiid, what the Sixers need is kind of just two-way guys that can knock down shots, right? If we're being honest, I know y'all probably don't want to talk about him, but Tobias Harris was terrible. Tobias Harris was a mockery to the city of Philadelphia, in my opinion. So getting rid of him, you got to start to get guys that, again, can put the ball through the hoop, right? And so to me, I think this is a good start. Jared McCain is a bucket getter. And, shout out to Justin Edwards, too, going back home on that two-way deal, right? I think that's another guy that could be a player, right? If he develops right, as a two-way guy, 6'7", y'all know, I don't even got to go into it. But I mean, I like what the Sixers did, to be honest. I think, again, you have 2 certified stars in Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. It's just about putting the right pieces and making sure they click around them. And I think getting a guy like Jared McCain, again, who can shoot the cover off the ball is perfect.
Kev. Hey, Kev, let me tell you something, man. I remember I saw him at on TV at the Hoop Ball Classic when they played against Camden. Man, he was lighting them up. I remember they beat Cam. That's one of the losses they had in DeJuan Wagner's senior year. I mean, DJ Wagner's senior year. Man, he was lighting Camden up, man. I was like, who is this kid? They couldn't stop him. I mean, he was just raining threes from everywhere, man. And I saw him at Duke and the way he could shoot. I love the pick. I'm ecstatic about him being here because he's going up that floor. He was probably the best shooter in high school basketball. He was at Centennial in Compton. That's where he was at. And he also was definitely one of the top 3 or 4 shooters in college basketball, maybe even the best last year. So I'm ecstatic. JJ, what's your take on Jared McCain coming down Philly?
My overall view: sell the team, fire everybody. That's my overall view. I post this one on Facebook at 4 a.m. and Instagram. Put a post on Instagram and Facebook. Sell the team, fire everybody. I'm sick of this crap, man. Tobias Harris, that's an accurate statement. He's a broke man. Carmelo Anthony, he's a joke. Get him out of here. Jared McCain, if he can give us 10 points a game, I'm cool, man. If he plays D, cool. Okay, it faded out in and out. If Jared McCain give us 10 points a game, I'm fine. I'm cool. But I'm really pissed off with my franchise. I need a parade before I drop dead. I need a parade. I need to get a hotel room downtown for 3 days before I drop dead, man. I mean, I'm 51 years old. I'm gonna never see a parade again. Like, real talk. So my overall view: sell the team, fire everybody. That's my overall view. Hope the young man pans out, but I'm really pissed off my franchise right now. I'm really mad.
Yo,
and going back to the podcast,
man.
Going back to the podcast a week ago. Now I had to let my curse words loose, with the pillow, with the censorship.
Yes, JJ is like the Bill Walton Generations of the Game podcast. the late great Bill Walton. Well, what do you think about Jared McClain coming to Philly, man?
All right, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on like Philly's like draft situation as a whole. So McCain, I think if I had to give it a grade, I think it's a B pick. McCain is a good player. There's nothing against him. He can score. I think projecting out his career, like as is right now, he's got a lot of like Seth Curry to him. But I think if the handle continues to come along, he can be somewhere kind of more like that CJ McCollum type of impact scorer, because he can really shoot it from the mid range, the three. He can get anywhere on the court. And I think that's like kind of the upside as an undersized like two guard like that. But I love the second round pickup a Dem Bona, super athlete, plays hard. When Embiid needs a rest, he can go out there. He blocks shots, he gets on the boards, and if you've seen him get out in transition, he's faster than some guards. Like he's an athlete for real. The offense really doesn't have much there in the half court, but I mean, you got Embiid, so you just need him to to dispel him for a few minutes at a time. And he can learn some stuff from him. But and then the undrafted pickup of Justin Edwards, I think that's going to come, long term to be a huge pickup. He's from Philly. He's going to embrace being a Sixer like, few have that we've seen. And, not that high school rankings matter, but, he was the top dog coming out, and for a reason. He's another player that I think just needs to really regain his confidence and settle in. When you look at him in high school, he could shoot the ball, from spot up. He could score off the dribble. Athlete, could damn near pull the rim off. He plays defense. He competes, and he embodies that Philly grittiness. So as he continues to add strength and get his confidence back, man, I think he'll be on a long-term, like a full deal, before long. And I think, he could be a wing piece that Philly really has been missing for a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you. I'm there. I'm there. I know I'm having a problem with this button. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
This is no shot at McCain, but how do you feel about the Sixers not drafting Dalton Knecht?
Because the Sixers are being Sixers. The Sixers are being Sixers. That's why.
Yeah, that's a good deal. You know what? I was cool. I said with the 16th pick, I was cool with these three players: McCain, Knecht, or Collier. I don't want nobody else except for any one of those three. I'm cool with it. And I know what you're saying about Dalton Knecht because he's a little more taller, 6'6", could shoot. He's a wing player too. I know what you're saying. But, once again, the cream always gets it, the Lakers. The Lakers, that was a good pickup. And speaking, and that leads into the next segue right here with the NBA draft. Bronny James going to LA with his dad, man. Wow. First father-son combination, which you might never see again in the NBA. Kev, with you being a special guest, man, what do you think about the Lakers taking Bronny James with the Dalton Knecht and Bronny James? How did both going to look with the Lakers next year? And will Bronny James, is he going to be in the G League, or you think he can make the team?
I think it's going to take him a few years to get it together and be a full rotational player. But at the end of the day, I honestly do believe Bronny James is going to be a successful NBA basketball player. Like, a lot of people are so stuck on, yes, he's the son of LeBron James. We get it, right? But at the end of the day, he does everything required of a player to be a successful role player. He's great at catching and shooting threes. He always knows how to make the right plays. He doesn't take bad shots. He knows when to be aggressive, right? He plays defense. He can guard the 1 and the 2 for the most part. He rebounds. He can push the fast break. He does a little bit of everything, right? Again, he's with the Lakers now, so it's not like you need him to be a high-end role player. They got plenty of those. But just to have success in the league as it pans out, whether it's with the Lakers or not, I truly think Bronny's going to be fine. I know a lot of people are doubting him, whatever the case may be, but give it time, and Bronny's going to be a player. I've never doubted him whatsoever. I don't really care about all the other stuff, all the comments and concerns about him, because he does the little things. And the little things, as I mentioned earlier, keep you on the floor. He's a rebounding guard. To me, he's cut from that Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Malcolm Brogdon role, right? In my opinion, I don't think he's necessarily those guys, but I think over time he can work to that. And a lot of people were judging him based off this past season at USC, and it's just like, one, he had the heart surgery, the heart incident thing, right? So he already got set back going into his freshman season. And then two, if I'm just being honest, USC was terrible this year on the men's side. And so you got to factor all those things in together. And I just think you can't fully just look at that. You got to account for everything going back to high school. And I just think, again, he's training with one of the greatest players of all time. So if he knows how to have success, it's going to show. And I think Bronny's going to be fine, man. And for Connect, I mean, I'm not a fan of JJ Redick being the head coach of the Lakers, but at the end of the day, like, that's a JJ Redick type player, right? Not only can he knock down shots, but he's a long, athletic 6'7" wing that can dunk on you. I mean, he played my Spartans this year in an exhibition game right before the season started, and he killed us. He dominated. He was the best player on the floor by a mile. And so I think he's going to be a big-time player. And I want to give a big salute to all the 4-year basketball players, right? This is a dude that played JUCO. Then he was at Northern Colorado, right? He had a real journey to get to the NBA, right? And so to me, I think he's going to be a player. I think he's going to be a rotational player out the gate. So I really love what the Lakers did. And honestly, you look back at it, like, historically, the Lakers have always done a great job drafting. And I think this just adds on to the list.
Great points, man. Definitely. I agree with you, man. You know, everything you just said. And getting back to Bronny James real quick, man. I just don't understand people. Oh, he had a bad year at USC. Bruh, he had a heart problem. Do people comprehend this young man almost died on the court? Are people that stupid? They don't understand that. And he came back.
In America, yes.
I mean, I don't understand people.
They're stupid.
Come on, man. This kid almost died. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, though. JJ, go ahead. What do you think about Bronny James going with LeBron in LA?
I'm gonna take an angle that people don't expect. The young man's gonna make it. You know why he's gonna make it? Do you know why Bronny James gonna succeed? Who is Bronny James' godfather?
Why?
Who's his godfather?
Who?
Chris Paul.
Don't know.
Chris Paul.
Oh.
The young man got resources to succeed. So if he got to get a sleeping bag and camp out Chris Paul's house, so be it. If he got to go to Dwayne Wade's house and camp out, so be it. The young man got resources to succeed. The young man will succeed. JP, look at us. We have unlimited track resources. We got information all day. We got insider information in track. Same thing, Bronny James. He got basketball insider information. If he go out there and play defense for 15 years, he could do that. If he go out there and become a sniper for 15 years, he could do that. He got to pick his trade, and he got to make it happen. And guess what? He's going to make it happen. Guaranteed. The young man's going to make it happen. If he wants to be a point guard, he can be a point guard. If he wants to be a shooting guard, he can be a shooting guard. If he wants to be Bruce Bowen, he's going to be Bruce Bowen. Lockdown defender. He's going to make it happen.
And you know, people say, well, his ceiling is Drew Holiday. Man, if he has a Drew Holiday type career, that is a great career. If he plays a couple years in the NBA, as we always say, you make it into the NBA, bruh, that's amazing. 8 billion people on this planet, only what was it, 3,000 or 4,000 people ever played in the NBA? Come on, man. You're one of the rare ones to ever play. And also, it's not easy, especially being the son of a player who's one of the all-time great players and still playing when you're in the league. That's been unheard of. So it's a win-win situation. Him going to LA, like you said, you get a couple years, he'll be all right. Will, what do you think about this situation with Bronny James? I think it's the perfect situation. What do you think?
I like the point that JJ made. He does definitely have, people he could tap in with, to get some master classes, and up his game for real. I actually, look at Bronny, and the reason I think he'll be successful is his mentality. I'll be real with y'all. First of all, if my dad was worth $1 billion net worth, I wouldn't be doing anything. Just being real with you, I'd be chilling. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, the kid still was motivated to have dreams and pursue them. And then when you hear him talk about even before the draft, like what type of players that he looks to model his game. His favorite player was Russ. But he named guys Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, guys that are known for defense, doing the dirty work and getting in where they fit in offensively. And his game actually it needs to develop, but it's not that far off when you look at it. Like the things he did, like spot up shooting, he cuts very well. He picks his spots. He excels without the ball in all scenarios. He has to work on, his on ball performance, like, handling the ball, and things like that. But, he's got half the battle. He knows how to play off the ball, what you have to do, on a team with stars, and he's gonna know he has to lock in defensively to get any type of time on the floor. He's got some world class athleticism. We've seen that. I think with Bronny, the thing that hurt him the most is honestly just going back to his mentality. He has such a team first mentality. We never seen Bronny be the first option in any situation. At Sierra Canyon, he bring the ball down, he get a ball up, he go, get a spot, spot up, or whatever. He's constantly moving off the ball. He played with Amari Bailey and a lot of, other 4 and 5 star players. Man, when you look at it, USC, like they already returned a lot of talent, but then they had Isaiah Collier there, who was in discussions before the season prematurely as a top 5 pick. You know what I mean? So when you look at Bronny's last 5 years of basketball, we never seen Bronny be in a situation to be selfish and just go get it. You know what I mean? Like we've seen every other player for the most part that's been evaluated and been drafted. You put yourself back on mute, bro.
This daggone thing getting on my damn nerves tonight. Very, very good point, man. Very good point you just made there, brother. Let's move on now. Let's talk about one of the most puzzling picks of the draft, I think, was Zach Edey going to the Memphis Grizzlies at number 9. Man. Well, we're going to start with you on this one, man. What did you think about Zach Edey going that high? I thought maybe 15 to 20. I didn't see him going in the top 10. What do you think about it?
So I'm gonna look at it from this point of view. Any player that Memphis took that really fit the need of the team was going to be viewed as a reach. They needed a center. Jaren's your boy, so I know you agree with me. Jaren Jackson is a dominant help side defender. Stretch for real. He does not want to play the 5. So you needed a center. So your options was Zach Edey, the tallest guy out there. Day'Ron Holmes or Khalil Ware. Personally, I felt like Ware or Holmes, was the better pick because of their mobility and everything. But listen, if you gonna go get a center, just to fill that Steven Adams role, who better to set screens to free Ja up, and Bane and everything than the Giant? You know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you, is it a reach? Sure, but do I like the pick? Absolutely. I mean, literally, all you gotta do is he goes like this. He got a putback dunk or a rebound. I mean, he's the ultimate, deterrent at the rim. And then you got Jaren. Like Jaren's going to be able to roam even more now defensively. It's about to be crazy, And the big thing with Memphis, all they really needed was Ja back healthy and to not be suspended. Bane back healthy. Look, they're cooking, man. And with the biggest thing is what you're about to get year 2 of Gigi Jackson. That kid showed a lot, you know what I mean, after, his draft slide last year, they were horrible. And that's the best thing that came out of it. Gigi really got time to show what he could do. So you throw him out there with the stars they already have, and now Edey, man, listen, Memphis is cooking for real.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Kev, what do you think about Zach Edey going to Memphis?
Yeah, I agree with Will. I think their main thing was just to go get a center, right? And Jaron kind of got that Anthony Davis syndrome where he's a big body, but he doesn't want to do the dirty work that's required of a 5 man. And so to me, I think once Donovan Clingan went off the board to Portland at number 7, I think they were just kind of scrambling to put together and find somebody. And I'm with Will. I probably would have went with Khalil Ware. Obviously I'm happy he went to my Heat down there in 305, but at the end of the day, I mean, Memphis is pretty much stacked on every single position on the floor between between Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Gigi Jackson, Jaron, right? They got players everywhere. So, again, as Will stated, you need that 5 man. And Zach Edey, if he's going to do anything, he's going to be solid. He's going to give rebounds. He's going to finish around the rim. He's a big-time lob threat, right? He can knock down free throws. His jumper, I think, is not that bad. I know he didn't get a chance to really showcase it at Purdue because that's not what Matt Painter does with his centers. But at the end of the day, I mean, Zach Edey's going to go into a situation where life is pretty much going to be easy for him. He just got to do the simple things. He got to hold down the rim on the defensive end, and he just got to be ready to catch the rock and get second chance opportunities on the offensive end. So I like it for Memphis. Memphis put together a really good squad the past few years, and I think this is just another guy that can help them out. If he doesn't, he could probably be using a trade package to get even better. So I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, you guys make some good points. JJ, what do you think about Zach Edey?
B5 foam. Jack and the Beanstalk. Hey man, referee's gonna call some 3-second calls on that Joker because he be pitching the 10, he be staying in the lane, man. So I hope he gets past that. That's my only beef with him. He stays in the lane too long. So he gets past that, and he doesn't have the Greg Odom Sam Bowie syndrome where he gets bad knees. Man, look, he's gonna be setting picks and jacking people up. He's gonna get a bunch of offensive rebounds, most of Malone style. He's a great fit for Memphis. Great fit. Ball come off the rim, get the rebound, be like Bill Walton, outlet pass, and throw it out to Ja and let Ja do his thing. Then even on the half court, say, he pick and roll. And let's just say he rolls off, they give him the ball and he take 2 steps and lay it up. Man, look. That's a great pick. And remember, he's a 2-time player of the year, guys, so he has some skills. He has some things. But like I said, as long as he don't stay in the lane too long with a 3-second call, we good. But great pick by Memphis. I applaud it.
Yeah, and you know one thing that you noticed, you haven't heard from Ja at all summer. That's telling me he's in the lab really working. He's telling you like, oh, you jokers forgot about me? Okay, wait till this year. Wait till you see the show I put on this year. And that's a good thing, man, a motivated job. And I agree. I think Memphis will be my sleeper team to come out the West this year because, like you said, Gigi Jackson, Jaron Jackson, and Baines and Ja. And if Zach Edey could give them like 10, 11 points, 8, 9 rebounds a game, 1 or 2 blocks, they're going to be in the mix, man. They definitely going to be in the mix to do some things this year to contend for a title. I agree. Also, let's talk about 2 more topics before we wrap our basketball segment up here. San Antonio Spurs taking Steven Castle with the number 4 pick to go with Wemby. I'm gonna go with Kev on this one. What do you think about Steven Castle going to San Antonio to form the duo with Wemby?
Yeah, man. To me, if I'm just being honest, I probably would have took. I mean, I'm not gonna say it because Atlanta got enough guards, but you can make a case that Stephon Castle is going to end up being the best player in this class, right? He's a 6'7" point guard that's willing to do the dirty work. He went to UConn this year and was a major piece. He started off the season hurt, so he really couldn't get into the flow of things. But once he did, they went to an entirely different level. And you've seen they dominated yet again the entire NCAA tournament, and he was a key cog in them going back-to-back, right, and hanging a national championship banner. So to me, Stephon Castle automatically from day one, he's probably already out there, but once he steps in San Antonio, he's the best guard on the team. And that's just with all due respect. He's a 6'7" point guard. He can see the floor. He can get to the rim at will. I don't think his jump shot is as broke as people make it out to be. I just think it's more so about repetition and the willingness to shoot it over it being actually just broken, needs to be fixed completely. And if anybody can fix jumpers, we've seen it historically, San Antonio and Pop can do that, right? So to me, I think Stephon Castle is in a great situation. He's going to be playing alongside the future face of the NBA and Victor Wembanyama. And to me, I mean, there's no real flaws in his game to me. I mean, honestly, again, I was gonna say I would have considered taking him number one, but again, the Hawks had the pick, so they already have two really good guards. But Stephon Castle can go, man. It's nobody that can stay in front of him. I think he's gonna be a mismatch problem for a long time. And again, he's in a great situation to develop as a guard, and I can't wait to see his future play out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think this kid could be a star as well. Not only that, he's a great two-way player. Defensively, he gets on you. Ask Terrence Shannon Jr. about how good of a defensive player he is. I mean, he stuck to him like glue when they played Illinois, man. And I think this kid, I think potentially too, he could be the best player in this draft. I think he can be a 20-point game and score. And like you said, with him playing alongside Wemby, that's only going to help his game even more. Take more of the pressure, take less pressure, more pressure off him. That was a great pick. Will, what do you think about Stephon Castle going to San Antonio?
I mean, I like the fit because, the thing about Castle playing at UConn, you go to UConn knowing that, you buy in as a team situation, no matter how good you are, and Castle, he passes the ball, he defends. If you need him to score, he'll score. That's the type of player you need, and with Victor, having somebody that's actually going to look for him on offense. We talked about this on the show numerous times. Like, Victor actually probably could have averaged an easy 10 more points a game if his teammates would have just given him the ball when he cut through the lane, because when he lifts his arms up, nobody can do anything to stop it, So Castle's going, probably like he easily can be one of those, 10, 15, 5 type of guys, man, like, out the gate. And then as the jumper continues to come along, it's only going to go up from there, man. Like, you can't coach size and him playing like, that at the point he's going to be a mismatch pretty much every night. The only, the few times he's going to be against somebody that's like similar size is like when he's matched up against like SGA, so he's going to be a problem, right out the gate, man. I liked what they did. I'll be honest though. I was shocked that they got rid of Dillingham. I thought they were going to keep him because Castle at his size, he could play the two as well. And I thought that would have been a really dynamic backcourt.
We're going to get to Robert Dillingham in a minute after we get done this here. We definitely going to get to that because I'm going to tell you something, man. We'll just save it. JJ, what do you think about Stephon Castle? I'm sorry.
Hey, he got unlimited resources. Who's his college coach? Hurley?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Hurley was his college coach, and he about to go to Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he got resources for days. Castle's going to be in the league for a long time, fellas. He's going to be in the league for a long time. He's going to be fine. And he's 6'7", so he got that long reach. He's going to play offense and defense. He's going to be around for a long time. And you mentioned mismatch. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be future drafts drafting point guards to deal with him because San Antonio is going to be a problem the next couple of years. They're going to be a problem. In the wild, wild west. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And Will, I wanted to say another thing too. You said he's going to SGA going to be a problem for him. I think Cade Cunningham's another player too that could be a problem for him. I mean, you know what I mean? That could match up well with him too. They're both similar in size, 6'7", 6'8", and I think Castle's a little more athletic than Cade Cunningham though. I think Cade Cunningham's going to be a star in this league too. He could be a pretty all-star too. But
when he gets out of Detroit,
Castle, man, definitely. Nah, he'll be all right there in Detroit, man. He'll be all right. Speaking of which, while we're on this topic here.
They are the armpit of the NBA, JP. Detroit is the armpit of the NBA, man.
They got some nice young talent, brother. They got some nice young talent, though.
And guess what? Soup got a lot of ingredients too, JP.
Hey, Will, I had to ask you, what do you think about Shepard going third to the Hawks?
In this draft, man, hey, good for Reed. I'm always rooting for all my Kentucky players, man. But all seriousness, I think a steady point guard is a need, for Houston. I think Van Fleet is actually a good, PG that he can learn from. Somebody that's not, making his bread off of being an elite athlete. He really has a understanding of the game. He's an undersized guard, that really understands how to get to his spots offensively and is a really underrated, table setter as well. So I think, Houston with Ime there, I think that's a good spot for him. And especially with all the young pieces they got with Sengun, was it Asar or is it Amen Thompson? Whitmore, like they literally have like Tyree Eason, literally like just a plethora of like young players, and they still got Jalen Green, and we know he got to come out hooping, to pay that child support, so they about to really up the record.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave that one alone, but I hear you though. So we got it down. We're gonna close out this NBA segment, man. Robert Dillingham being traded to Minnesota. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you all something right now. That backcourt of him and Anthony Edwards, hey, you better get your popcorn ready. That is going to be one of the most exciting backcourts, if not the most exciting backcourt we might ever see in the NBA. I'm talking about as far as the entertainment value of it. I couldn't believe Minnesota actually pulled that off. That was a real good pick for Minnesota to get Robert Dillingham. Him and Anthony Edwards in that backcourt, that is going to be electric. Let's start with you, JJ. What do you think about Robert Dillingham going to Minnesota with the eighth pick with the trade with San Antonio Spurs?
Trouble. You got to pick your poison. Who you gonna guard? You gonna guard Anthony Edwards? You gonna guard Dillingham? It's a lot of buckets. They're gonna put a lot of buckets. It's gonna be a lot of buckets, man. But trouble. And guess what? When Minnesota is not over yet, I think they're gonna get one more player, man. When the brain fart end of the month
free agency moratorium.
Yeah, free agents. When the free agents get loose, they're gonna get one more player. Minnesota's gonna be trouble. I'm telling y'all, man. It's gonna be they're gonna put a lot of buckets up. A lot of buckets, man. I would not want to be a guarding them jokers. Big problems. Big problems.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think, brother, about Robert Dillingham in Minnesota? How's he match up? How does he fit in right there in Minnesota?
Yeah, I love it because when you look at the Timberwolves this past year, of course, get into the Western Conference Finals, having a pretty successful season, the defense has been their biggest friend, right? It's been their most used thing. And right now, you need offense, right? And Rob Dillingham, if there's nothing he gonna do, the one thing he gonna do is get a bucket every single time, right? Against any defense. He don't need no screens, right? He could break you down with the in and outs, the spin moves, the crossovers. He can finish with both hands, super dynamic at the rim. I thought, Will knows, y'all know, his freshman season at Kentucky was an absolute movie. I mean, he was doing things like that while he was in high school at Combine Academy out there in North Carolina, at Donda Academy out here. Like, he's just a special player. And I think, as y'all kind of hit on, getting a vet like Mike Conley, that's the ultimate vet, right? That's the premier vet that you love to have. And that's a dude that's going to get in his ear and give him a lot of game, give him a lot of recipe, give him a lot of sauce to have a long, long career. And so to me, I think Rob Dillingham ended up in the perfect situation. San Antonio would have been nice, but I mean, again, you rather be in a place where you can win, right? And I think Minnesota, with Anthony Edwards being the face of the league, is only going to get better and better. And to me, he adds on to a huge dynamic that was kind of lacking this year for him. And so I'm ecstatic for Rob Dillingham. And I think him and Anthony Edwards, as you said, JP, is going to be one of the must-see backcourts in the NBA for the next however many years, for the foreseeable future. So I love that for him.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Will.
I mean, I loved what Minnesota did in the draft overall. Like, when you look at how far they made it, like Kev said, the defense was a staple. But if it wasn't Ant Edwards, there was, or if Cat wasn't on, he had a rough shooting playoffs. But if Cat wasn't on, it was kind of tough, and that's why they were able to load up on Edwards like that. Nas Reed was a bright spot for him, and that's why he got paid the way he did. But outside of that, it wasn't much offensively. So now, they directly address that. Dilly is a bucket of the highest degree, one of the quickest triggers in the draft, lacks no confidence, So when you have that, paired with Edwards, you got trouble. And then, they went and got Terrence Shannon Jr., who's another player that can score, and competes, as far as mentalities, they got two dudes who do not give a F, about the opposition. They're going to come at you night in and night out. And, that's literally all they needed was somebody else besides Ant that could go get a bucket. I don't think we see, Edwards gassed the way that we did this playoffs ever again with what Minnesota did. And I agree with you, JJ. Right now it's Minnesota. They bring in McDaniels back. They already re-up Reed's money. They still got Gobert. They still got Cat. They got, them young boys on the rookie scale, contracts. They're going to make another run for it. And I think they tasted that defeat. And if Edwards is who we think he is, I think he is going to push him to the next level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. Man, it was a great NBA segment, y'all. Man, I mean, we gave our own thing with the draft and stuff. Now, as we move on to our final topic of the night, this is Coach JJ's bread and butter right here. As we move on to the U.S. Olympic trials, which got started last weekend. And I guess we got to start off, JJ. Who do you want to start? What do you want to start off with on this subject?
Okay, got three choices. You can go with Quincy Wilson, FAMU, or the 2-day break. I'm gonna start with Quincy Wilson. 10th grader.
Okay.
Let me say it again. 10th grader took 6th in the Open 400 at the Olympic trials. 10th grader. Not a high school junior, not a high school senior, but sophomore. He don't have a driver's license. And he took 6th at the Olympic trials. He's gonna run the mixed relay at the Olympic Games. You know what that means? He can win gold medal at 16 years old, which is insane. The youngest relay member in history was 19 years old back in 1928, 1932. So this joker in September, for show and tell in school, is going to come out with Olympic gold medal from Paris.
Hey, JJ, you know what's crazy?
That's insane.
JJ, he might actually get 2 Olympic gold medals because he might run in the qualifying rounds for the 4x4 too. He might wind up getting 2 of them.
But how that works, usually the months between the trials and the games, you run like 1 or 2 meets, say in Europe or somewhere else, and whoever's still consistent, that's how they form the team usually. But in his case, he running something. But he don't have a driver's license. That's crazy. He gonna go back to school. And oh man. And look, being Olympic Games and get all them phone numbers, he gonna come back to school. All them girls that didn't give him time there, he gonna come back to school, go like this. Oh man.
Yeah. Yo, the heck is going on? Yo, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about Quincy Wilson too? Me and JJ saw him 2 weeks ago in Philly running the New Balance meet. And he ran a 45-1 quarter, which is one of the fastest times ever for a high schooler, in sneaks. Not spikes, but sneakers. And we were like, what in the man? And I'm gonna tell you what he did at the Olympic trials is one of the most impressive feats we've ever seen in high school history. He dropped a 44.6, he dropped a 44.5, and a 44.9. Two of those were back-to-back races. 3 races, he ran sub 45 seconds. You got grown Olympic-ass men that can't do what he did. That kid did that in 3 straight races. And if you'd have run 44.9 in the finals, we'd be looking at that, our jaws would drop. We dropped a 44.6 and a 44.5 on us. And here's something else that just came out this week. I saw an interview with him. He actually didn't train for a month. He said he was in the hospital with a bad stomach virus. And he didn't train for a month. Man. Yeah. And he said he just started really training like over the last month. And he said his coach didn't even know, Coach Lee didn't even know if he was ready for the trials. When he dropped that 45-1 in Philly, his coach was like, okay, we're ready. We're ready to go. And Quincy Wilson is only like 5'8", 5'9". If you see him, like a little boy. He looked like he's about 12 years old. And for him to do what he's doing, man, it's like, look, I've seen some great high school quarterbackers. JJ seen them too. We seen Obi Moore, who was great. We seen Henry Thomas. We remember William Reed, all of them. And my 42, 43 years of watching track and field, follow the sport, I've never seen nothing like this. And it's stunning. It really is stunning to see this. Kev, being you from the West Coast, man, you said you've been following Quincy. What do you think about young Quincy Wilson, brother?
Just a dog, right? I was a fan after he ran that one race a few weeks ago where he came out and said, I ain't running against high schoolers no more. I'm running against the big dogs. And you could tell he got that ultimate confidence. You could tell he knows exactly what he signed up for. And as y'all saying, for him just to be 16 and just dominate the way that he is, man, I just got to salute Baltimore, salute his grind, salute his family, because he's out there putting it on. He's out there holding it down. And so I love it. Again, when you see that supreme confidence, that supreme swag, it's like he just knows it's just him in his lane, right? He ain't worried about no other body. He's just going. And when he take off, he take off. He don't look back whatsoever. And so I love it. I think he's going to shine out there in Paris. I think he's going to hold it down for the States. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see him get older because he's only going to get better. He's only going to get faster. I mean, if he's doing this at 16, I can't imagine what he's doing at 22, right? So to me, I mean, shout out to Quincy Wilson, man. He's been super fun to watch.
Will, go ahead, brother.
So, similar to Kev, I haven't really been following, the sport overall that long. But, once JP started telling me about Quincy, man, when I do get a chance to check out what he got going on, man, I definitely do. And the biggest thing that sticks out to me about him, as far as like outside of the times that he runs, is it just seems like he embraces having a target on his back. He knows that, people know who he is and they want to beat him, whether it's, grown men or, other high schoolers. But he always embraces the matchup, no matter who's out there, and he seems to be racing against his own time, and I think that's what kind of sets him apart, at such a young age. And, like Kev said, man, that dog mentality is going to carry him far, man. Like he's running like this, he ain't even hit that peak yet, so I think we got, God willing, the next star, for sure. And I'm just excited, man, to see, the heights that he can reach.
Yeah. I know he said during the interview, next year when he comes back, the Bullets next year, they asked him what his goals were. And he said he wants to take down the 500-meter record indoors for the 500 meters. That's a goal of his. They asked him if he was going to run an 800. And he said, we will see about that. He said, we'll see about him because he ran a real great fast 800-meter race too. But he said it's going to be a race next year that he's going to run that's going to shock people. And he didn't say what event it was, but he said next year he has an event that he's going to. Said, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're going to be shocked when you see me run this event. And the third thing he said was, he said we got some unfinished business at Penn Relays. He did say that. He said we got a good team coming back next year. He said we got some unfinished business. He said, oh JJ, he said this too. He said we're going for that high school record next year, the 4x4. It's been up. It'll be 40 years next year. 40-year-old record from Hawthorne from California. He said we're going after that record next year too.
JP, the event he's going to try. I got an idea, and you dropped all the cookie crumbs. What you just said. You said 500, right?
Yeah.
You said 500. You said 800. Because you ran 150 and 800. He got the national record of 600. He got national record of 400. So with the growth spurt, the event he's going to try, which he's going to probably put the record out of reach, is going to be the 400 intermediate hurdles. Bow, 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 bow.
Wow. You think he's going to put? Do you think he's actually going to run the 400 intermediate hurdles? You think so?
Ooh. Hey, that's the event he's going to do, and he's going to shock everybody. He's going to put the record out of reach. Yep. Wow. It's only 30. It's only 36 inches, brother. It's only 36 inches. And Vance Nielsen out of Arizona, he ran a hell of a time for 300. I think Quincy's gonna put it out of reach.
Wow, that's
he gonna
crazy.
He's gonna run something, and your jaw's gonna hit the concrete. You gonna go. You gonna be like, whoa! He gonna put it out of reach, kid. 300 hurdles and 400 hurdles. That's what he's talking about. Watch.
I put it to you this way. The eyes he got right now in track and field right now, in high school track and field, when he goes to all these meets, whether it's pens, whether it's indoors, they're going to be packed. The stadium now is going to be packed. He just upped the ante. I've seen, and JJ, you know this, we seen Obi Moore put 50,000 people in the University of Pennsylvania Penn Relays back in the 90s. What is he going to put in the arena?
All right. Think about this. Remember Nationals? We watched his race. After his race, we all walked out the stadium, all of us. And now it's the middle of the meet. He ran. Everybody was going. It's gonna be the same day Pens. But the thing is, 4x4 is the last event on Saturday, so they're gonna be there the whole day.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man, next year I'm getting my tickets early for Pez. I'm not messing around, man, because that kid's gonna have Pez packed up next year, man. It's gonna be crazy. Also, we can't forget one other kid too that everybody overlooked as well. That just might be on the Olympic team as well. Is Christian Miller from Florida, the young high school phenom that took 5th place. So we might actually have two high schoolers on the Olympic team, which is crazy. It's crazy. He ran 100 against Noah Lyles and took 5th. Let's start with Will. Will, did you see Christian Miller run the 100 meters against Noah?
So the thing is, I did, but I didn't realize that I did until you just said Noah Lyles, because I did watch that race. Man, listen, Christian is another one, man. He got a really bright future ahead of him, man. You know, taking 5th, against those grown men out there, that is no slight feat. And we do know that Quincy is great, but, it's important to shine a light on this young man as well. So, shout out to him. And now I got two, athletes that I'll be monitoring in the world of track and field for sure.
Yes, indeed. Kev, what did you think about young man Christian Miller 100-meter race making it to the finals? It actually running against Noah Lyles, Fred Kelvey, and oh man, brain fart for me too. Kenny Bednarik, and of course Christian Coleman, who you took 4th, and he came in. This kid came in 5th after Christian Coleman. What do you think about this kid Miller?
Yeah, I had actually watched the race before the semifinals where he barely snuck in, right? And he literally, by the skin of his teeth, barely snuck into that one. And when he made it in, I was like, all right, he got a shot. And I seen he took 5th. to claim his Olympic spot, and I was just happy for him, right? Because you could tell like people don't know. I mean, people do know, but like it's a lot of work and dedication that goes into this, right? Like this not basketball, this not football, right? This is a singular, all eyes on you type sport like boxing, and a lot of these dudes sacrifice a lot. And I seen Christian Miller. I actually seen him. I think I seen him like a couple years ago, actually. And to be honest, he's just gotten faster and faster. To be honest, and so I love it. I think again having another dude represent like that in the Olympics is major. And you can just tell the talent pool, honestly, across all sports is just evolving. I think evolution is just a natural process, and you're seeing the fruits of that labor right now. So I love it. I think both of them are going to have major success in pairs.
Yes, yes. You know what? I agree. I think sports right now, whether you talk about basketball, football, track and field, whatever, baseball, it's off the hook right now. I agree, man. I agree. Sports right now is in a great place. WNBA, everything's in a great place right now. I definitely agree with you on that. JJ, who else did you want to talk about the Olympic trials? Who else did you want to bring up?
Okay, the one thing that's online this year, they had a 2-day break in between the trials. They had a break Tuesday and Wednesday, and a lot of folks complaining about the 2-day break. I like the 2-day break because it gives folks a chance to heal and do multiple events. You got some folks running 200 and 200. You got some folks doing multiple field events. You got Rachel Glenn's case. She did the high jump, then she had a 2-day break, and she's running intermediate hurdles tonight. So there's a lot of complaints about the 2-day break. So that's, I said, there's three things. We talked about the high schoolers. We talked about 2-day break. I'm gonna save the thing new for last. We're gonna save it for last.
Okay. Yeah, I think me personally, I like the 2-day break as well. Gives people chance to get right again, get ready for the second half, and now we're ready to go. We're ready to go this weekend, man. For the second day. Also,
JP,
5 million. Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to give away spoilers, but this intermediate heat women is Rachel Glenn and Delilah Muhammad.
I'll check it out. I know I DVR'd it. I'm gonna check it out. But
very interesting heat, brother.
I'm gonna check it out, definitely. The sport of track and field, actually, they had their biggest audience in 12 years to watch this sport the other night. 5 million people were tuned in on Sunday night. I like the way the sport is going. Michael Johnson has something going on. Serena Williams' husband's getting involved with the sport now. I think one of the things that needs to happen, I know it's Nike Town. I know Nike's the major funder of track and field, and it's in Oregon. I'd like to see more cities get involved and have more things. Like LA is a great track town. Atlanta is a great track town. And also Philly, New York. They're all great track towns. And see, I'm going beyond the sport. Because people say, oh, Oregon's got the best facilities, the best track. But especially when we talk about our people, black people especially, what in the hell is there to do in Eugene, Oregon after a track meet? Because folks want to go out to the nightlife. When you have the pet relays, there's a lot of things to do, a lot of clubs to go to. Atlanta, a lot of clubs to go to, a lot of things to do. Me and JJ, we've been to Texas. We've been to Texas Relays, 6th Street in Austin. A lot of things to do. New York, a lot of things to do. You have to go beyond track. You have to look at the avenues of people what to do socially so they won't be bored. Kev, we're going to start with you, man. How do you feel about, do you feel as though that Eugene shouldn't be the only place where we should have like major track meets or even like championship meets?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I work for New Balance, so I'm kind of in tune with a lot of different things. They got the relays up there in Boston more often times than not because that's where headquarters is. But I would love for them to expand, like you said, LA, Atlanta. It's a whole bunch of different cities, right? Houston. And all these people, all these kids come from different places, right? USC, their track program is starting to get put on the map too. So I think I agree with you. I would love to see the sport expand and evolve. I think, with these stars coming up, with Sha'Carri, with Sydney McLaughlin, with Quincy Wilson, and all these other guys and girls coming up, I think, as you mentioned, it's only going to be more eyes on it. And I think they're going to have no choice but to expand because, again, all these players are coming from all across, not just, the country, but the world, right? So to me, I think it's just a matter of time, to be honest. And so I think eventually it's going to get there, and this conversation will be a long ways in the past.
Will, what do you think?
No, I agree with you, JP. Like, there's so many other cities just so many options, the food scenes, social options as far as like, social activities and things like that. Like, you got to give people something to do and it's a reason to want to spend their money, to travel, for the beach, like outside of the athletes, of course, they're going to be there. But, everybody else, you got to think about that.
I agree. JJ, look, you know about the sport more than any of us. You've coached a championship team at the Penn Relays. You won 4 state titles yourself in high school. You're cool with just about a lot of these elite people in track and field. JJ, no, as I call J, look, this is what I call JJ. I call JJ the Worldwide West of track and field. That's what I call JJ at times. Because he knows a lot of folks. JJ, what do you think about about the topic we're talking about?
Man, look, Boston be a great city to host a track meet. I went to the indoor meet 2023 in March, the national indoor meet for high school at the New Balance facility. For outdoor meet, Boston be a great place to host. Boston, New York City, Philly. I'm gonna say DMV. When I say DMV, I'm talking about the Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area. Virginia Beach would be a great place to hold a track meet. North Carolina would be a great place to hold a track meet. Atlanta, Georgia would be a great place to hold a track meet. Man, look, Miami or Orlando would be a great place to hold a track meet. New Orleans would be a great place to hold a track meet. Texas before May would be a great place to hold a track meet because it gets too hot. It gets way too hot. Man, LA area would be a great place to hold a track meet. Chicago would be a great place to hold a track meet. Kansas City, Missouri, because of the barbecue, would be a great place to hold a track meet. Detroit would be a great place to hold a track meet. Detroit got some food spots. Cuzzo's got chicken and waffles. Man, oh man, great. Woo! Great flashback to Detroit 2016. I mean, you just gotta get the right millionaires and billionaires to sponsor this stuff, to organize, to make this happen. But the thing is, all the big meets are in Europe. All the money meets are in Europe. And the thing is, in track and field, the distance runners make all the money, not the sprinters, not the hurdlers. Distance runners, they got the road races. They got, think about it. Milrose Games, they got the want to make a mile. What does that tell you? The want to make a mile. Man, the distance runners, they're the ones who get paid. And distance runners between road races and races on the track, they run it all year long. All year long. Look at the fall, cross country or road races. Look at the early springtime, road races. Man, look. It can be done right. You just got to get the right millionaires and billionaires besides, what's Serena's husband? O'Hannon or O'Bannon, whatever his name is. Then Michael Johnson, then Bill Cosby was a major sponsor, but he got his hands in the cookie jar, so that got disqualified. But you got to get the right folks to sponsor this thing. Way to go,
right.
Man, we okay, we're back.
Yeah,
we got ways to go about it. We got ways to do it. Just got organized. You got to get the right millionaires and billionaires, to get it done.
And also, I think star power as well. As long as we keep bringing out these young, look, right now the future for track and field potentially could be Christian Miller, Quincy Wilson, and of course we know Area Knighton's already there. We got this young youthful talent mixed with older talent, which we got Sha'Carri, we got Sid, we got Noah, et cetera, et cetera. So, but that's going to lead us into our last segue that you wanted to talk about. Another star that we thought was guaranteed. If anybody was going to be guaranteed to have a spot in that Olympic team, it was a thing, Mew, man. And man, I feel so bad for her, man. It's like, wow, man. You know, she's such a great runner. For her to fall in the 800-meter race, JJ, you want to talk about it, man? Speak on it.
Man, look, if she takes top 3 in 800, she had a guaranteed 4x4 spot because you know she's gonna go to Europe and run a 400 and run like mid 49 and get that 4x4 spot. So she had 2 medals like locked down. Her falling that messed up her whole summer up. And she was off the track for 9 months anyway because of burnout. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing that what went down. Her falling was a blessing. It's one, ain't gonna happen again. And 2, when she go back to the track next year, God bless everybody. It's gonna be scorched city. It's gonna be scorched and fire all day when she run next year.
I agree. I agree. Kev, what do you think about a thing, Mew, man? And what is her future you think hold for her?
Pretty much everything JJ said. I think sometimes kind of like Sha'Carri, kind of like they all do, you got to go through them bumps in the road, right? You got to get knocked down to get back up, right? So I think it's only going to fuel her to make her even better. I think she's going to come back a monster next year. And I'm excited because, again, you just in things like that, you just got to conquer. You just got to keep conquering. It's all a mental game. It's a mental game first. And when you get through this, you can get through anything. So I'm excited to see how she responds next year. I think she's going to be a monster, to be honest. So I'm not worried about her whatsoever. I think this is going to be that thing where when her career is finished up, she's going to say, like, this moment right here is what fueled me to get back and be the best version of myself. So I think it's a blessing in disguise for her.
Well, what do you think about a thing, Mew, brother?
I mean, long term, I definitely think, it pays dividends, that this happened, rest your body, take a step away, recharge your mental and everything like that. But I'll also say, of course it sucks, all the preparation, and time that goes into, that moment, you're looking forward to making history, and you fall. But the things that the greats in any, sport build on, is adversity, whether it's a fall, whether it's beating a tough opponent, whatever injury, whatever the case may be. So I think, this is just that piece of her story, that adds to her greatness when,
I concur with everybody said. I hate to be the person. Look, next year she's gonna be motivated. I remember they had an interview with her before the race. She even said it's hard to get motivated sometimes when you've been great and just winning every time. I think this right here is a blessing in disguise because I think a thing Mew, you're gonna see a thing Mew. I mean, she already was great, but you're gonna see a version of her that's gonna be mind blown. Starting next year. I feel bad for her. You could tell she was very, very hurt about what happened. And, of course, man, our hearts go out to her, man, and we definitely wish her nothing but the best. And she will be back. And like I said, she has a chance to be the greatest 800-meter runner we've ever seen. And that's going to happen. I tell you what, LA 2028, I hate to be the competition because I think Showtime will be ready then. Our very, very last topic of the day. I gotta go to my man Kev with this here, man, Kev, because you're very much tied into the LA hoop scene. I gotta ask you about the high schoolers out there. Right now, we go into this. We had you before. We talked about this class of 2026. How special it is. Who's the best player in this class right now that we have out there, which might produce as many as 6 McDonald's All-Americans? Who's the best of them all right now, Kev?
Brandon McCoy is definitely the best. I want to clarify he's not from the city. He's from Oakland, California. So I got a shout out to the town, but he decided to make that transition out here to St. John Bosco, and he's been a monster ever since. But it's a lot of guys in that class, as you know, right? He's the main one. He's gonna be a killer. I don't really know where he's leaning in high school, or excuse me, college decision wise right now. Obviously, that's a couple years away, so we'll see how that plays out. But he's been dominant on the EYBL, playing for Arizona Unity, and I believe they made Peace Jam. I gotta confirm that, but I'm pretty sure they did. But he's one of them. Obviously, you have Elijah Arenas, the son of Hibachi Gilbert Arenas. He's doing his thing. He's been killing. He's been playing 17U for Compton Magic, which, if you know about Compton Magic, they're one of the most historic AU programs out here, right? And he's just one of them. Jason Crow Jr., I got to shout out to him because he's an Inglewood prodigy, transferring over, going to Inglewood High School now, where his pops is going to be the head coach at Inglewood. So I expect them, the Sentinels, to get back on track and be irrelevant. Yeah, they left that down there at Linwood, and now he's at Inglewood High School. So I'm gonna definitely be at a few games this year to check them out. I can't wait for that. They're gonna bring a lot of talent to the public school system out here, so I can't wait for that. He's a lefty. He's playing for Russell Westbrook's team. Why not? He's been really good. He played 17U for like a session last year, and then they dropped him to 16s, and he was killing. But now he's been on that 17U team playing with Trevor Ariza's son, Taj Ariza, amongst other guys. So I think he's going to be a major player the closer he gets out there. And then the last one I'll touch on is Joe Sterling. Shout out to my guy Pablo. Will, you already know he's mentioned this dude a lot. He was at Crespi this year, and he's transferring over to Harvard Westlake, which, if anybody knows about that, it's like a big-time rivalry. So I assume that's not going to sit well with Crespi's fans, but he's a dog, right? So I can't wait to see him play over there at Harvard Westlake. If you guys remember Johnny Juzang or Cassius Stanley, they both went there and had great success there. Trent Perry, who was committed to USC, is now going to UCLA now. He was just there for the last few years. So it's a lot of really talented players in that class. I'm excited to see how it's all going to play out. Just like in all rankings every year, it's going to be somebody that I'm not even mentioning right now that's going to pop off and do great things in the college game too, and potentially even the NBA. So I love it, but yeah, man, those are just some of the few names. I definitely want to highlight Jason Crow Jr. because he's one of Inglewood's own.
Yeah, and you know what? I was going to ask you that. So the kids that were at Linwood, are they coming with him to Inglewood, or is he the only one there?
Yeah, they bring in a few, I believe, but I know they're getting a couple other top dogs too, I believe. So they're going to be stacked. Linwood has got some good resources down there too, but Inglewood is one of the programs that's kind of been waiting to pop off. I know Paul Pierce is going to be supporting them. You guys know Paul Pierce is like Jason Crow's best friend from the Woods, so I'm excited to see how it all plays out. I think they're going to get back to being a real threat on the basketball side of things for the foreseeable future.
Hey, JJ. This kid, Jason Crow Jr., he'll be a junior this year. He averaged 36 points a game last year as a sophomore, and he won back-to-back state titles. He's ranked as the number 5 player in the country right now. Yeah.
Back state titles.
Yeah.
36 points. Lord have mercy.
Yep. He is a natural scorer.
That's a nightmare for the opposing team. The other coach, he ain't getting no sleep. He ain't getting no sleep for like 2 nights. Man, look. 35 a game. How tall is this kid?
6'2".
Yep.
Oh, he got growth spurt coming up. He's a lefty?
He averaged. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a problem.
He averaged like 30. He averaged 35 a game as a freshman.
Wait until he gets growth spurt. God bless everybody.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough, man. He's tough. But Kev, I wanted to ask you about Trevor Ariza's son. So you seem like he's moving up into the rankings too. I think like top 5 now, right? Yeah,
Taj, he's pretty much a spitting image of Trevor, of course. He's probably not as good. If you guys remember, Trevor Ariza at Westchester was a major, major problem. It's the reason, he went to UCLA and ended up winning championships with the Lakers. But, I mean, Taj literally looks just like him. 6'8", knockdown shooter, does all the dirty things, can rebound, guards other teams' best players. He got that killer instinct. He's at St. Bernard's, which is pretty much Westchester's rivalry. They're a private school, though, so it's a little bit different how that works out. But he's a player too. He's gonna get a lot of offers from everywhere around the country, I imagine. So I think he's only gonna get better and better. Of course, as you guys have been touching on all episode, he got plenty of different resources. So I'm excited to see how his progression plays out because just between this summer and last summer, he took a major leap and he's been growing like crazy too. So, Taj Reed is going to be a hell of a player at that next level.
Yeah, it's real quick. Before I go to Will, I want to ask you about Brandon McCoy. I've seen a lot of comparisons. A lot of people say that he's John Morant and Derrick Rose type athletic ability. Do you see Derrick Rose and John Morant in Brandon McCoy, as a lot of people are saying?
Nah, I wouldn't go that far. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. He is athletic. He is a big body. He's a bigger frame. He's definitely taller than both of them. But skill
Yeah.
wise, yeah, he's up there. He's up there. I mean, he gets to his mid range spots. When he rises up, he's unguardable, right? Especially as a point guard, right? He's a big point guard, right? So he gets into the lane and can do damage. I'm not gonna put that type of athleticism on him just yet. He is bouncy though. He will dunk on you if he catches you lacking. But Brandon McCoy's a killer, and he's gonna be a big time problem for a long time. And he's only gonna get better and better and better too. And it's a reason that every school in the country is gonna come calling. They've been calling him since he was a freshman. And yeah, he's different though. I ain't gonna lie, he's different. I think whoever's training him, whoever he's working out with, whatever the case may be, he's doing the right thing. He need to stick to that because it's clearly working and it's gonna pay off for sure.
Yeah. Well, of course, Will, we talked about it before. What do you think about this California class of 2026, which some people in basketball circles are saying could be the best class to ever come out of California, and also could be one of the best classes ever?
Man, it's a special class. I joke with Kev a lot, about California, not really being the mecca of hoops like he says it is, but they produce a lot of players, man. And this 2026 class is special. Some of the kids are imports. Like Tyron Stokes, he's not really from there, but a lot of talent, man. And the kids that's actually from there, like special, man. And it's a lot of upside. Like when you talk about like somebody like Taj Ariza, Elijah Arenas, even McCoy, like man, they're not even close to what they're going to be, in 5 years, man. Like, and they're already so talented. So I'm excited to see what happens, where they go. Arenas specifically, I want to see him play some better comp in his regular season, but man, it's some real dogs. And that's one thing I would say across the board with this class. They all, like, you see some players, man, I'm not going to ever say names in a negative light, but you see some players, they coast, man. They just try and get their little hoop mixtape. But these guys, they want to win and they want to dominate.
So, I'm what I said before. I'm gonna say it again. You know who Elijah Arenas, who I said who he reminds me of somewhat. He reminds me of Kobe Bryant. He reminds me of Kobe Bryant. He reminds me of Kobe Bryant, a young Kobe Bryant, a lot. He just, the scoring, how tall he is. He's about as tall as Kobe. Athletic ability. He reminds me of him a lot, man. In some ways, I'm not saying he's better than Kobe as a high schooler, but he's similar. I'll put it to you that way, man. I just put it that way, man. Cali's winning everything. Cali sit up here, might have the best talent in the class of 2026, and we damn sure know Kendrick Lamar sit up there just destroyed everybody in sight. So y'all out there, Kev, y'all winning out there, man.
Good tacos, they winning.
Man, yeah, they are. But hey, man, once again, man, great show, y'all. We're gonna wrap this thing up here. Of course, we start off with Kev, our brother Kev, man. Kick your shout outs, good brother.
Yeah, man. As always, it's been a pleasure, man. It's a great show, great talk. Glad to be back. You can find me at Kev Luke the Great on Twitter. Talking Hoops with Kev Luke, is my exclusive podcast. I got Get a Bucket with my guy Chris LeBron, college basketball. And yeah, man, you can find me there. Tap in, follow me. I'll follow you back, man. Again, I appreciate y'all for having me. This is a pleasure.
I gotta definitely listen to that podcast, bro. I need a link to that podcast. Definitely. I definitely need to listen to that, man.
I got
You
you.
know, definitely, brother. You know, when you talk hoops, man, you know, you're one of my favorites when it comes to talking hoops, brother. Definitely. Of course, the great JJ. Kick your shout outs, good brother.
Last thing I want to bring up that I failed to bring up during the show, Quincy Wilson. If he gets a growth spurt, it's gonna be game over. So watch for his growth spurt next couple years because, like I said, he's a 10th grader. And the mystery event, like I said, 300 hurdles, 400 hurdles. They have 300 hurdles in Maryland, so that will be a jog in the park for him. He's gonna rip it up. He's gonna put the national record out of reach. So 300, 400 hurdles. Watch out for that next couple years. Shout out to the 08046 Willingboro, New Jersey. Shout out to Willingboro High School. Shout out to Hamilton 08609. I'm off for the summer. Cha cha cha. Ha ha ha. Shout out to Lamont Smith. Shout out to Mike Bird. Shout out to Penny Packer. Shout out to Willingboro Track. And shout out to my two pillows because I've been laying on them a lot lately. Ha ha. Yes. Peace, deuce, deuce.
Man. Of course, man. Shouts to Willowboro. Shouts to Birdman, Mont, Troy James, everybody else, man. Shouts to them. You know, Petty Packer, all the Willowboro. I got shout my part, Garfield North. Somebody might hear me and get on me about that. Of course, I got to shout out to Garfield North and everybody, man. Will, kick your shout outs, good brother.
Man, y'all shouting out the hoods and all that, man. Shout out to Longside, of course. You know, shout out to New Jersey. You know, shout out to my co-host, you know, JP, man. You know, our the best summer co-host, JJ, of course. You know, and shout out to you know, everybody that's been tuned in with us, and shout out to the guests that we've had, man. Like, you know, when JP and I started cooking up this podcast, I couldn't imagine that we would have had the slate of guests that we've had so far, man. We had college coaches, we had, you know, hoop heads like Kev, you know, friends of the show, Nick, Pablo, you know, Aiden Jackson, you know, and it's only up from here, man. We're going to keep at it, you know, and shout out to, you know, the motivation and the reasons why we're doing this show, man. Our brother, you know, Sammy J, you know, the super OG, you know, JP, your father, man, Mr. Pope, you know, and everybody else behind the scenes.
Yeah, and also don't forget the Olympic gold medalist we had on with us too, Mont Smith. Don't forget him either.
Bro, we are almost at 30 episodes. There's a lot of people to name, man. Y'all said Mont twice, so we good.
It is every week, man. Every week we got somebody. Yeah, it's getting to that point, man. We got some more in store for y'all too. Definitely, man. Between now and the fall and stuff, we got some folks lined up. Definitely. We can't say who, but we got some. I'm a curse now. We got some shit for y'all lined up for the summer, definitely. But on behalf of Kev, JJ, Will, y'all watch these Olympic trials. It's the final day. And yes, JJ, I'm gonna say it. Noah Lyles gonna win the 200. He gonna win the 200. You wrong on the 100, so I got you there. He gonna win the 200. Gabby Thomas gonna win the 200. And
we shall see.
But I think you agree. One thing is guaranteed is Sidney McLaughlin. That's guaranteed. You can book that.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, y'all enjoy these Olympic trials and stuff, and hope everybody out there is enjoying their summer and everything. For us all, have a great week, and we will talk. We will see you all. My goodness, we will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace.